Hi everyone, Dr. Cliff Faver here, and for this teaching moment it's going to be just a little different. A lot of people ask me, how did you get started on that? And I think a lot of people believe that I started off with Yves Saint Bernard and then started the teaching aspect of it. But the reality is I had a lot of interest in dermatology just because it's one of the more common things that we do in practice. I did a lot of dermatology. I actually served on a committee with Novartis with probably 10 of the top dermatologists in the country doing all the cutting edge research. I mean, most of these people worked on Apoquil and some of those things when that first came out, and it was in some of the discussion at the meetings that we had. But through that, I was constantly looking for another way of doing things. I just wasn't happy with the results. And then I came across Yves Saint Bernard, had a groomer come to me, and actually ended up meeting my wife through the Yves Saint Bernard, and I got to learn a lot about the products. Now, I learned from the company, I learned from using the products or seeing them used, and I also learned a lot by the groomers that I dealt with, not only the ones that brought me to this, but also the ones that I've taught and were able to use that. So, we kind of come at it from a different way in the fact that I did the veterinary side first, had all that knowledge, and then I found a product line that took care of everything I needed. I knew the basics, I knew what was needed for a lot of the skin and hair problems, but I didn't have a product line to do that. The chlorhexidine and the things that we had in veterinary medicine just didn't cut it. I didn't get the results that I wanted. So I was constantly looking, and I've tried a lot of different lines, tried a lot of different things, and just none of them matched it. But when I ran across the Yves Saint Bernard, I actually got to see products that did what they said they were going to do. They actually got results. When it says it's a humectant, it actually hydrated. We did things from a therapeutic aspect. It would kill bacteria, it would kill fungus, it would get rid of fleas. It did all these things. So many companies make all these claims, but at the end of the day, it didn't work, or it helped on the short term, but not on the long term. And that's really the glory of Yves Saint Bernard and working with it. But just understand that all the stuff that I teach was basically the information I knew long before I got involved with Yves Saint Bernard. Yves Saint Bernard just dotted the I's and crossed the T's and made it easy. So hope that information helps. I know there's a lot of people that think it was the other way around, but the reality is, the veterinary side came first and the products come second. Thanks a lot.